So moving it, yes. So for many years we've been putting chips into cards, plastic cards. So the environment is fairly known. You have a chip, you have a module, you have an antenna, and it's fairly predictable. Moving into a mobile phone, you've got different problems. The mobile phone company wants to make the phone smaller and thinner and lighter. They want the performance to be faster, and they want the battery to last a long time. But they want security, and they want good connectivity. So the challenge is real estate. So how much space you need inside the phone, how much energy you will take from the battery, and how fast you can make the product work while it's still very, very secure. So that's our challenge. So mobile phone companies around the world want us to make them smaller and smaller and smaller, and to make the performance faster. And it's not going to change. So what we're starting to do is integrate different functions together so that we can take up less space in the phone. And it's not just about the physical square meters on top, it's also the height dimension has to get less and less, which creates a challenge for semiconductor companies, because the thinner you make a chip, actually you start to get issues with light and the strength of a semiconductor, because as semiconductor starts bending, they can crack and the performance goes. So it depends, that you can only go so thin. So we're starting to actually, in some cases now, investigate spraying rubber, silicone onto the semiconductor so that if it starts bending, it doesn't crack. So that's something we're looking at for new generations. So in the past couple of years, we've been shipping a couple 100 million minimum of secure elements along with NFC into smartphones around the world. These products are used for banking. They're also used for transportation and also sharing of information. So that's happening more and more. I've just come back from China, where NFC and security applications are used very, very widely. Korea, Taiwan, Japan. This technology is used a lot more than in Europe and the US at the moment. So it's where I spend a lot of my time, actually learning about things that they've been doing over there. Interesting case though is I think there is a case for having both for quite some time. If you look at Japan, Japan's had essentially NFC Filica in the phone for a long time, but they also still use a lot of cards, so the card density is still very high. I think it's going to be a few years away before you start seeing the number of cards reduced. The challenge for a bank or a banking association is they like to see the brand. And typically they'll only allow one brand in a phone. What we need to do is, can we get into one chip more than one banking brand? Today that's quite difficult. So it's something that we will see, but it's going to take quite a few more years. But I still hope we sell both. Probably today, yeah, the biggest, because if you think about it, and I mean, how many bank cards do you carry? You probably in terms of bank cards with chips, I would guess you've got 4, minimum 4. Well, so the banking chip, yeah, I mean, these are devices. These are devices that are quite challenging to make. They're very, very complex products. So they are a business that we've focused on, but the bank product and the product used in ID cards and passports, and even transportation now, they're all based on the same technology. So they're pretty complicated to make, and it's really important because the security level is very high, because the amount of money that's carried on these products, or the transaction value, but also on an identity product, your personal identity is carried within that device, so it should be very secure. So the cost tends to be higher. Simple RFID chips, where you've just got basic data in, are very cheap. They're 1 or 2 cents, whereas the banking products are can be in the dollar plus range. So NFC is it's been around a few years. It's actually on its 12th birthday now. 12 years ago, yeah. But we're only just seeing it in the field. So NFC is a technology that's been around for some years. I mean, it's hitting the mainstream, but it's not a simple product to make, because some of our competitors have products, but the performance, to achieve the right level of performance to be able to use it in the field is quite difficult. And some of our competition are starting to see that now. They have products, but do they work really, really well? Our customers come back and talk to us about our next generation products, and they comment that they believe that NXP's NFC performance is better than anybody in the market at this point in time. But we always got to be careful, because there's a lot of good companies out there, so we have to make sure we're constantly innovating. So we've had, as NXP, we've had RFID technology in cars for years. There's two areas that it's been in for the last few years. So in the high-end cars, remote keyless entry is an RFID technology with security. So as you walk towards the car, the door opens, you don't need to put the key in, and then you don't need to put the key into the ignition to switch the car on. So this is technology that was coming from our identification security business. The second thing is we've now moved NFC readers into some of the high-end cars. So now you can connect NFC phones directly to the car, and these are starting to come out into the marketplace. And the industry is extremely interested in security products. So the automotive industry worldwide is interested in, because the connection to the outside of the car is you're starting to get the cars talking to infrastructure, cars talking to other cars, but also GSM signals are coming into the car, and you have in-vehicle networks, and these in-vehicle networks need security products. So this is something you're going to see more and more, cars with security chips in that are based on the same technology as banking. So the thing is with fingerprint technology or sensor technology, what we're seeing is that companies are still talking to NXP as well, because the fingerprint to open the phone to enable an application to work is very convenient. The challenge is the security. So to make sure that the financial transaction is protected, is that banks and the financial services companies, they have to manage risk. So what happens is, so the convenience of a fingerprint sensor to open the device to allow that transaction to take place, there is a risk associated with the transaction taking place. So the banks then will make a recommendation on what they believe is the right level. So what you'll find is below a certain level of value, the banks may have a different level of security than they will for a very high value, where then they'll start to look for some hardware-based security chips that may have a PIN number as well. So typically less than $10, $15 can have lower security because the value associated with it. Above $25, $100, you need to start having a PIN number and potentially even a signature sometimes. So it depends on the value. So we're showing quite a few new things. We have products that we call sensor hubs, which are moving more and more into mobile devices. This is where you have quite a few different sensors in the mobile phone that you're able to detect, whether it's temperature, humidity, etc. But also we're starting to see that the audio aspect, so voice activation of a phone or a device is becoming more attractive, more interesting, and that's something we're showing. Also on the show we're showing different types of audio capability as well, where we're showing true stereo sound for a mobile phone. Yeah, so and they're software based, so it's really really fun, and the capability now is to you're able to make a mobile phone into almost like a boombox sound with stereo quality. So that's something we've been developing for some years just in software. And then there's other part of our business, the software division has been doing work where you can work and have audio and video downloads into mobile phone services. Yeah, so we're not in the MEMS space, but we have capability within our microcontroller division for dealing with different types of sensors, because NXP is a high performance mixed signal company, so we have the ability to deal with analog digital mixed signal. So that allows us to be able to design microcontroller chips with the mixed signal products and be able to offer solutions to customers. So we've got some demonstrations of some of the ranges here at the show today. Well, actually, I think it is. It's to do with the audio, the one that we're excited about. So some of them are tending to become more. You know, people now is getting used to temperature and humidity and direction. But the audio capability, voice activation, is something we're quite excited about, because this is mixing sound and digital. Voice activation can wake up the sensor hubs. Yeah, so it's quite fun. Yeah. The other spaces we're showing the latest NFC technology that we have, some of the security products, so just showing how far we're taking NFC performance for the next generation mobile phones as well.